Hey, Honors Physics. This is page 41. This is a compound circuit or combination circuit, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 resistors. But based on how they're drawn, a lot of people start thinking, oh, this is a parallel inside a parallel, right? Draw your attention to R3 and 4, and you say those guys are parallel, and then your brain immediately says, okay, once I simplify that, then I just have to add, then these are series, right? This line, and then this one. And brain goes, oh, wait a minute, those are three circuits, or three lines in parallel, and that's not the case at all. One of the biggest warnings is to always pay attention to where your junctions start and where they finish. And what I mean by that is that if you look at this circuit, and maybe you've already figured it out, that we're going to have to simplify this upper part, and then R5 follows all of that, right? Because if I were to map out my current, wouldn't an electron that's being pushed through all of the upper stuff, and now it's coming back this way, and I know that some of you may be saying, but that's the wrong direction for electrons. That's true, but either way, R5 is actually series to everything else. And so what the skill is that we're going to show is basically redrawing circuits to make them more clear or to understand kind of the relationship between resistors. Okay, now how do I mean by redraw? Well, let's go up and put our battery. Let's put our battery down here at 6 o'clock. And then what you notice is that we have two pathways, right? And one pathway has R1 on it. And then the other pathway, right, has R2 in it. And then any current that goes through R2 is then going to split again. So what we're doing is we're taking kind of other geometric shapes and we're making it, albeit more complex, showing the branches clearer. What we're also showing is kind of who's parallel to who's series to who. So this is R3 and here's R4. Now, finally R1 comes back together. And if you think about it, if you go through R1, then you never go through R3 or 4. And then we could actually put R5 out here. I ran out of room a little bit. But now we go back to our circuit. And we have, of course, a 6 ohm resistor. We have R1 equal to a 9 ohm resistor. R2 is equal to a 4 ohm resistor, and 3 is 42 and 21 ohm resistor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the inside out, and we're going to take a look at this parallel part, just the 42 and the 21. And we're going to call that R parallel, R3 to the negative 1 plus R4 to the negative 1. Let's do that on the side kind of quickly. 42 plus 21. Negative 1 plus 21, negative 1. And that equals 14. So that would be the equivalency of 3 and 4. But then R2 is in series with it. So we've got now 14 plus 4. So my R series is going to be 18 ohms. Then, and that's this level of view. And then we look out a little bit broader and we see the parallel part again. So now we're going to do R parallel, and it's going to be R1 to the negative 1 power. Plus, what else is parallel to it? Well, the 18 ohms, but that's really R2, 3, and 4 to the negative 1 power. That's what this guy is, R2, 3, and 4. And so we have 9 to the negative 1 plus 18 to the negative 1, all taken to the negative first power. That's 6 ohms. And then finally, do you notice that at the very end, there's an R series, because we take R 1, 2, 3, and 4, plus add it to R5, because that's series 6 plus 6. And lo and behold, we get 12 ohms of resistance. Okay? So maybe redrawing it helped some of you. Maybe you didn't need to see it, but it certainly clarifies what's going on with R5 and that this other complex junction that's kind of on this side. Okay, so of course, if you have the luxury of erasing and keeping things kind of clean, that's good, because now what we can do is we can kind of open up the RVI table. Now, whenever you get stuck with the I total and the R total, my favorite thing to do, and you've heard me say this, is the current puck. Take the most recent thing that you've just determined, which was 1.2 amps, and you ask yourself, where is that? Draw it in. And what we mean by that is it's going to be before the split, we've got 1.5 amperes. And then after everything comes back together, 1.5 amperes, and therefore going back to the battery, right? Anywhere there is no splitting or division. And what that immediately shows is that R5 is a good place to start with 1.5 amps. And V equals IR, so 1.5 times 6 is 9 volts. Now, again, when you get stuck, you simply come in and you say, okay, what did we just finish with? What was the most recent calculation that I'm pretty confident in? And we just found that the delta V here is 9 volts. Or another way is to draw it over here, 9 volts. Well, remember, overall, this is a series circuit. It's a parallel inside a series inside a parallel, but at the outermost layer, this is a series circuit. So if 9 volts gets dropped off at R5, then how much total voltage do we have left? Well, we have 9 volts left over because V in parallel, right? Let's do this again. V of our total circuit has to be equal to our delta V at resistor 5 plus our delta V across our parallels, right? So R1, let's call it delta V1. And so if the total is 18 volts, minus 9 volts, because we're going to subtract the delta V at R5, and we're going to be left with our delta V of resistor 1, and that's also 9 volts. That's a pure coincidence that they share it that way. But did you notice that what we just did is we went from 1.5 amps to solve for 9, and then we stayed in the column. So I actually have a name for this. My students have called it, it's a cross between the game of Sudoku, where you finish a row once you have enough data, and then you stay in that column, whatever you just finished. So in this case, 9 volts. That allowed us to then deduce, and here's the evidence of how we know that there's 9 volts across R1, is because in series they should add up. Now, what you do once you have 2, well, let's go back to Sudoku style. You finish the row. I equals V over R, 1 ampere. Okay, you hit pause. You go, okay, where is the 1 ampere? Well, the 1 ampere just went up here, 1 amp. But remember, there was 1.5 coming into this node, and 1 ampere just went north. So how much went to the right? And the answer is 0.5 amps. Who gets that? R2, because it hasn't split yet. So 0.5 amps must go to the middle pathway. 0.5 times V equals IR. 0.5 of 4 is 2 volts. 2 volts dropped here. But do you remember a minute ago we said that from this side, let me laser point this, from this side to this side, right? Because we discovered 9 volts are dropped here, so then there has to be another 9 volts here. So guess how it works, right? This guy got all 9 volts because he's on a path all by himself. We just deduced that this has to be 2 volts. Well, 9 was supposed to be the amount we had from here to here, so 9 minus 2 is 7 volts. And watch how this comes together nicely. Both of these have to be 7 volts. We finish Sudoku style by finishing a row. I equals V over R, 7 over 42, 0.16 amps, 7 over 21, 0.3 amps. And there we have it. So other things you could have done to maybe help kind of structure this or organize this is even though I'm kind of going backwards and I have the ability to erase, that's, by using maybe colored pencil, that's good, but we can also double check our voltages to make sure they work by using our highlighter tool. So here's my pink, high voltage, and remember you stop anytime you go through a resistor. But then you go backwards and we put in low voltage, okay? That doesn't help us so much. Now, here's where having a little insight. Let's go green back from the 0. And you notice that what that just did for us is it kind of made it clear that all of these guys, all those pathways are all coming back with kind of intermediate voltage. And now we can use a color like yellow or orange to show kind of this intermediate gap. Now let's kind of look at the whole thing. The whole thing is 18 volts. And let's see, this one was one of the very first ones we calculated. That was 9 volts. So if blue to green is 9 volts, do you see how green back to red has to be another 9 volts because the total has to be equal to 18. So there's our 9 volt drop. And let's see, we know that the drop from red to green has to be 9 volts. So why don't we calculate our voltage here? We already did. That's 2 volts. And so then this must be 7 volts and 7 volts. And see how the color coding seems to consistently show that. Red to blue, or pink to blue is 18 volts. Pink to green is 9 volts. Green to blue is 9 volts. And then that intermediate yellow or orange color has to be a drop of 2 from the 9. So that is a level 3 problem worked through from a couple of different directions to show you the steps.